So we are here, October Red Boxing. We are here and we are joined by Hall of Fame fighter and now trainer of Dan Azeez. Welcome to Mr. the one and only Mcgirt. Thank you for joining October Red Boxing.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
We are here yet again with another fighter. You seem to like these British fighters. You seem to have warmed to the UK. Talk to me about your journey and kind of like grabbing the British fighters, because we've seen you with Calum Smith, we've seen you with Dillian Whyte, and obviously Dan Azeez. So talk to us about why you trod across the pond and made your second home here.
Well, Dillian Whyte told me I should move here for a little while, but after dealing with this cold weather, I don't know.
What is it like then? I'm going to start with Calum Smith. We're going to talk about all your fighters. What is it about Calum Smith that you two were able to gel and form a relationship for you to become his trainer?
Well, I had met Calum earlier, a long time ago when I trained Paul. I trained Paul for a couple of fights, and I met Calum back then, back in early 2000s. And then, we hit it off, outside of the ring more than inside the ring, in the gym, I should say. You know what I mean? Like more friendly, was able to communicate more. And once you got that good vibe with a fighter, then you can do your thing.
That good vibe is so important for that trainer-fighter relationship, because like you say, they've got to be able to trust your words of advice, when maybe they can't see what's happening with the game plan. Maybe when they're out there in the thick of that fight and they think what you're telling them is not working.
Well, you got to have that trust between each other. You know what I mean? When a fighter comes back to the corner, it's like a little kid going to his dad. You know what I mean? Like, all right, Dad, help me. And if you can't help him, then it's not going to be a good night.
Tell me about it. But what I would like to ask is not, and I'm going to give you my personal opinion, and you as an experienced coach and a fighter can tell me to shut up, what do I know? But it's not all the time that an ex-fighter makes a good trainer. What makes you different, buddy? What is it that you can transition over? And you've done both.
When I was a kid and started boxing, the very next day I wanted to be a trainer. So in the process of teaching myself fighting, when I became a teenager, I used to go help train a lot of the kids. So I did it through my whole career.
And that's why I like being educated. So you kind of like started off with the training and then ended up in boxing?
No. When I started boxing on a Saturday, I woke up Sunday morning, I said, I want to be a trainer. So like as I was fighting, I used to always, when I was a kid, like do a lot of shadow boxing and mock fights when I was by myself. You know what I mean? And I just teach myself different things. I would read books on fighters and go teach myself the stuff and look in the mirror. And I would just used to do that repeatedly, all, you know what I mean? And then just after a while, I started, when I turned pro in 82, I was 18. I used to go back to the gym and train a lot of the amateurs in between fights. What
is it that made you have the passion to kind of do both then? What was it inside of you? Because that's a very rare, I haven't heard a coach tell me that, so educate me.
I love teaching people how to use their brain. You know what I mean? Not just to fight, but to use their brain. I mean, I've always loved doing things using my mind. Using my brain, thinking. Whenever I was in situations, I want something I can think. How can I get out of this situation? That's always with me since I was a kid. If it was a game without thinking, I didn't want to play it.
Can you play chess?
No, it takes too much time. I like checkers. I'm good at checkers. Chess just takes too damn long. I don't have patience to sit down for a long period of time just doing something. I like quick, like that.
May I ask what books that you read? You said that you read books on fighters. Who were those fighters? I'm intrigued.
I read 2 full books. One on Sugar Ray Robinson and one on Archie Moore, from front to back.
And would you say that your style came from that? This is your fighting style. Did your fighting style come from that? We've obviously mixture of yourself, your own style too.
It came from that and a bunch of other fighters, like Jersey Joe Walcott. You know what I mean? You had Joe Louis, Ezra Charles, Kid Gavilan. It There was so many fighters that I studied as a kid that I just take a little bit from this guy, a little bit from that guy. You know what I mean? I tried different styles when I was an amateur, and I'm like, yo, this shit ain't working. This ain't working. This ain't working. And that's, you know what? How about if I take a little bit from each one and make it work for myself?
The undefeated.
We love that. There's so much noise in the background. We've got the live public workout going on at the moment. So you took all of those and you developed your style. You've gone through your career and you've achieved so much. What was it like? Because we've recently had a fighter, Carl Froch, being entered into the Hall of Fame, a UK fighter. What was it like for you when you got that invitation, when you got that notification that you're going to be in, you know, the Hall of Fame? It's something that is so iconic for boxers.
I cried because I first visited the Hall of Fame in '93, and I was with all the greats. I mean, I had so much fun. It was the time of my life. And I should tell every young fighter, you should go up there, man, and spend time with these old guys while they're still around. And I was still fighting at the time, so I used to pick their brain. Like, I spent 2 hours with Archie Moore one day. Yeah, and just picked his brain. We exchanged phone numbers. He used to call me. You know what I mean? I mean, that's stuff money can't buy. You know what I mean? And just hanging out with Joe Frazier and them guys, I just had a ball. So when I got that call, it just gave me chills.
And now you are passing on your valuable experience. We spoke about how you met Calum because you used to train his brother. Now we're going to move on to the next one, which is Dan Azeez, who you are here for this weekend. Talk to us about Dan Azeez and how you two get on as, you know, fighter, trainer.
Well, Dan, you know, this is the first fight that I really fully trained him for. So we still getting adjusted, but it's working. It's coming along good. So we just got to, you know, build it one brick at a time.
What is he like to train? Because Dan Azeez is quite a character outside of the ring, but what is he like when you're in that gym with him and you're giving him those instructions?
He's a character, but he works hard and he tries it. If you don't get it right he'll keep trying it till he gets it.
And how do you see this fight going with Dan on the weekend against the seasoned Rocky Fielding?
Well, we know we're in for a tough fight, but we've prepared accordingly, and now it's time to go in there and handle our business.
And do you see this relationship that you've got with Dan as something that is going to be long-term? And I say this because I always get nervous when fighters change trainer. It makes me very, very nervous. And we're going to push on from that. But do you see this being a long-term thing?
Well, you know, I just say this. I take it day by day. I mean, I take it day by day.
So we're going to move on to Dillian Whyte. I was there. I watched that fight. And what I will say is that I saw credible improvements in Dillian Whyte's defence. I was there when the crowd was oohing and ahhing because I thought that some of the shots that Jermaine Franklin was throwing was getting to him, but they were on his gloves. He was tucking up nicely. Talk to us about, obviously, yourself and Dillian Whyte, how that came about and how you find him to teach.
Well, you know, I got the call for Dillian when I was here for Dan's last fight. And we worked for an hour, and then we hooked up. And camp was great. And, you know, a lot of people after the fight were hitting me on Instagram saying, why didn't you make Dillian go in there and make it a war and slug it out? Why? You know, we got the right guy in front of us to do what we worked on. And let's see what we have to work on more. I mean, Franklin came to win. You know what I mean? He did better than I thought he would, don't get me wrong. But what Dillian was doing was working. It didn't excite a lot of people. But we're not, you know, in my eyes, I was there to say, okay, we got to correct this. We got to, as we're watching the fight, that's what I'm looking for. This way for the next fight, we'll be even better.
So will you say that your relationship and Dillian's relationship is going to continue? Because like I said, I get nervous. I know it's a day-by-day thing, but you've kind of like hinted there that you will still be working together for the next fight.
As of right now, yeah. You know what I mean? We speak every other day. We talk trash to each other. You know what I mean? We had little personal jokes we be sending back and forth. You know what I mean? So, you know, listen, Dillian's a great guy. You know, I got to say that every fighter I've worked with from the UK, great. Dillian, Dan, Calum, Chisora, you know what I mean? All those guys, man. I love all of them, man, because they're great, and they've treated me like family from day one.
Well, we're going to end it on that note, and we will say a massive welcome to the UK. And we want you to come and move over here and stay over here as well.
Only in the summer, not the winter.
Thank you so much, October Red Boxing, with the very own Buddy Mcgirt. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That was a pleasure. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Hi, and thank you for watching October Red Boxing. Like, subscribe, and tap the bell for notifications. You can also find us on Instagram at October Red Boxing and on Twitter, October Red UK. And remember, at October Red, we stay ready.